Yo, it's Guido coming at you with the Tactics Talk. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to my channel, coming along for the ride, all that good stuff. It is 2022, January the something. I'm making this video on the 3rd, but you'll see it when you see it. And here I am in my VK100-01 on the NA server, spawned into the north. This is going to be kind of a wide-ranging video today. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff. We're going to talk about initial positioning and decisions and why. We're going to talk about repositioning and why. We're going to talk about what some of the other tankers are doing and why, or why they should not do that in particular. And then when we get to the end, we're going to talk about time. These are all great subjects. You know, this game is hit point reduction, and you have, in this case, 15 minutes. 15 minutes to figure out how to either reduce all of the enemy's HP to 0 or to capture their base. You could do both, I suppose, but one of those two things will win. One of those two things will win. So let's take a look at this, and we're going to talk initial positioning. I like proc because it has 3 valid places to go, unlike a lot of maps. And they're almost all valid for every class, minus Arty. Almost. Some are better, a little bit better than others, but you could make arguments for going to all 3 of these places with any of the tanks other than Arty. From the north spawn. Now the 5-6 line I like quite a bit. We're going to get this started. Just real quickly, one thing I want to try to incorporate and talk to you guys a little bit. I'm running vents, a rammer, and a vert stab on the 100-01. I probably should be running hardening or something. That's more of a classic setup right there. We can talk about the ins and outs of that stuff at some other time. I do have a considerable amount of gold ammo at 14 and 30 regular rounds and 6 HE, and I'm running large kits, no food, no directives, or any try-hard stuff like that. So kind of a basic setup, really, that anybody could come up with in the 100-01. Let's take a look at the team setups on proc here. No artillery, okay? That's one thing we should notice right away. Proc is a really open map, so you want to no-kid notice that as fast as possible, and that's going to start working into your decision-making. It's going to open up some places, or at the very least make them a little more usable or less painful, i.e. the 5-6 line, which is right here to the west of the train tracks, and both sides use this line right here on E6 and for the enemy on F6. That's going to open it up without any artillery. So my first instinct, and I generally do this, is to go to that spot. Why? Because I can flex over to the other side, to the right side, or to the left side. So east or west, either one, no problem. But I looked at this and I went, all right, I'm bottom tier. So that's another important bit. That's another important bit. And this thing has that massive tumor on it. So when you go hold down on the 5-6 line and you're attempting to peek up and get shots, the first thing that comes up is that big tumor, and they're going to shoot that well before I get my gun online with them. Additionally, this tank has a very large turret, very flat-sided. So if I'm looking right or left, let's say I'm trying to look up the hill over here and I've got my turret turned to the left, I have a very flat, easily pinned turret right there. Those two things don't necessarily make me say I don't absolutely ever go to the 5-6 line, but for today, they made me say I don't want to do that. Bottom tier, I expected the 277, maybe the Leopard, some of these other tanks over there. And I find myself getting sniped a lot. So my initial decision today is to go over the 1-2 line, and I'm going to look for the scouts to get out there and maybe get us some shots. Take down some guys on the 1-2 line. Maybe we can do a push. I have some pretty good armor, so if it's looking good, I can move in. I do also have to realize there's a 4005, a Grill A, and a Tortoise, the Scorpion G as well. So they have a lot of TDs. So I'm going to put some of the beef on the 1-2 line and see what we can do. All right. Let's talk about what other players are doing and paying attention to it and understanding how that's probably going to affect your game. I want you to watch the ELC 90 right there. Just watch them on the minimap. All right, there goes their scout. So their scout makes a move, goes in. Our scout is on the ridge, raging around. What I want you to do now is just take a second, think about the setup, think about where tanks are, and then ask yourself, why are we ridge running with scouts? Anybody have a good answer for that? Well, because I'm scouting, right? Because I'm spotting. I'm trying to get spotting damage. Well, Nobody can shoot the people you're spotting unless you catch one of us over here trying to get up on the ridge and one of their tanks has raged forward fast enough. There's no artillery. So there's an argument for a little bit of SA to be gathered, but watch as this just continues. Bat Chat's raging around. He's going on the edge. The ELC's raging around. They're ridge running, baby. If you were in my position, or you were a TD player, or you were trying to win the 1-2 line, where would you rather your scout be, and what would you rather your scout be doing? If there was a bunch of artillery in this game, I have no problem with the ridge running action right there. Because now you're lighting up guys, artillery's coming over, softening them up, and it's not a bad move. But neither of the enemy tanks, at least the 12T sort of comes over this way. At least the 12T sort of comes over this way. Not loud at going on the 0 column over there. I actually get a shot on this guy for a wonder. Another example of why I wish I was reloaded, because he gets tracked. He fixes it quickly. It's unfortunate somebody wasn't ready to kill him off. And continues to rage on the edge, the ELC. Meanwhile, the 1-2 line hasn't even been looked at. Let's talk about the ELC. I mean, some of you have this. You must be salivating, thinking the same as I am right now. Why on earth is he not sneaking through the bushes? Tiptoe through the tulips. How come he's not just sneaking down that line? Especially if you know that stupid Bat Chat on the other team is ridge running for no particular reason. I mean, that's perfect. He keeps getting lit. We know he's not sneaking through the bushes in front of us. The only time we're really in danger if he comes too far over to the west and just start creeping forward in those bushes. You are going to absolutely start lighting guys up, and you're just going to collect the sweet assist from all the Camp-A-Llama ding-dangs, to include me, sitting here on the 1-2 line. Let's go back to the initial decision that I made to sit on the 1-2 line. Just because you make a decision to go to one place or the other, one thing or the other, does not mean that you have to stay there. And there comes a point, as you pay attention to what's going on the battle, that you know you have to do something different. And even in a really slow, sluggish 100-01, you can get in and start making a difference by repositioning your tank. So we got the Indian, the Skoda, the 110E4, who is a FS drummer boy, and the RHMB. Just kind of pay attention to them the rest of the game. All right, we're all just stacked up here. Very, very lucky their 12T wasn't bright enough to come in through those bushes, start lighting us up, and get us wrecked. Because I happen to know, based on how the rest of the game goes, some of their big TDs are definitely on the 1-2 line. So there goes our ELC even 90. He is still ridge running. How much assist do you think he has right now? The only thing he's doing potentially is lighting up the guys on, say, the 4, 5, 6 column, and maybe giving some of the green guys up on the hill, over on the east hill, some shots down onto that line, which is the symbiotic nature of this particular map. That's the only thing he's potentially doing right there. I'm also watching the hill because it's very interesting what's going on there. There's about 4 tanks, purple tanks, on the south side of it, sitting on the back edge. The Barask is actually in the middle somehow and not dead. And it looks like we're kind of controlling it. However, the problem is they have so many guys on 5-6, 4, 5, 6 or so. I'm just imagining there's a lot of shots going up into our guys. And they're starting to probably lose hit points based on what's going on. The only way that would have worked is for them to no-kid and aggro over the edge, but they can't because they'll get shredded by the guys in the 5-6. Now the Leopard is in the middle, and I'm starting to think this is not going well. We're going to start losing guys over here on the east side. It was too early. They weren't ready for that push, and then they stall. They don't go after them. They don't get aggressive. I don't think they could. There's so many on the back edge. And then I see the T-54 go low, and I'm like, well, maybe there's some hope. Perhaps they're going to kind of break this down. And I'm watching this happen. Like, all right, if that side breaks down, we're in great shape. They'll push down into the southern part of the train tracks, come over, start getting lights, and then we're going to really own this battle. This is a critical phase, and unfortunately, I'm not in on it. Let's talk about me potentially going to the hill as another option for initial positioning. The reason I didn't take this thing there is because it's sluggish. It's not necessarily a reason to never take it there. It's just this thing is really difficult to use on that hill because the way you use that hill is kind of poke, drive up, shoot, and drive back. And it just takes so long, and it's so slow going up, and then it goes so slow backwards. I just would have been really sluggish on that hill. So 5-6 line, 1-2 line with maybe a backup. And all of a sudden they've won the hill, at least it looks like it. So I'm going to move that way. This is where the action is. Also, notice my buddies. They haven't even moved. They haven't done anything. Nothing. So off we go. I'm going to come over here, try to bolster. The 277 is the only guy right here, and I know they have a stack on the 5-6 line. I'm watching this go down on the hill, and I'm thinking, this is not good. They're stalled. Nobody wants to push. They've probably lost a lot of hit points. They're taking a lot of shots, and they're not able to kill these guys. And just kind of watch what happens over there, because it's no bueno. There goes the T-54. That is not good. I'm trying to run over here as fast as possible to help them. There's a lot of guys on the 5-6. All right, we got the 12T. Their scouts dead. Hugely important. Anytime on a map like this or Malnovka, pay attention to the scout situation. When their scouts die, that opens up a little bit for you, your ability to move around the map. It's just important to know. Leopard goes raging in. The Borosk is down in the pit now. Our Leopard dies. The guys in the hill haven't pushed, and they really can't. The problem, one of the big problems is, it's 2 Calibans. Man, if they're both loaded and they can rush and take someone down, that's great. But it's a WZ-111 1-4. All their buddies are starting to die, and it's 2 Caliban. So that's just going to be a really difficult situation. I know their Leopard actually climbs up to the hill right there. So now I'm in the position I didn't really want to be, but it's kind of a necessity now. Again, pay attention to the 1-2 column. Not a damn thing going on. None of them are moving, right? We're losing. We're down 4 tanks right now. We've lost our scout. We've lost a Leopard and the T-54, a Borosk, and things are going very poorly right now. We had a bit of a push that got stalled over there. 2 Calibans aren't great pushing tanks necessarily, especially if they can't start taking things down quickly. So the whole situation here is going pear-shaped for us. Meanwhile, 4 guys on the 1-2 line aren't interested in trying to help in any way. All sitting in the exact same spot. Actually hit him, but get a bounce right off the old turret. The 277's doing as much as he can. Surprised he's not taking any shots, but he's not getting lit. I did get lit, which was quite interesting. We'll back down. I know there's probably a Leopard up in those bushes right now, so I'm going to take a couple blind fires into them here in just a little bit. And unfortunately, at this point, we're on a defensive footing. So the reason I'm not doing a whole bunch here is there's nothing for me to do. If I push up and over to get lights for our guys up top to get shots, I probably take 42,000 hits from every direction. So I've got to be careful. Put a shot into there. And again, I'm looking at this going, those 2 Calibans aren't a whole lot of use. Even if I like guys in the 5-6 here, their ability to hit them is going to be extremely limited. The Leopard is definitely good to have up there, and I think there's a Sturb or something. Yeah, there's a Sturb 103B. So that's why I'm now, all right, let me see if we can get some lights here and get some shots from these guys. We'll back here, and boom, that is a shot right into my silly, actually, I think he got in my turret. Nope, right into the freaking hatch. Exactly what I was talking about. And I don't want to go back again, because if I pop over again, here comes Mr. Hatch. I'm lit at the moment, and he'll just, somebody else or him will aim another shot into it. Not to mention the guys up on the hill now, the Leopard and whatever, the WZ, will have shots into my side. That great big billboard side of the 100-01 is easy to hit. Turns out the Leopard's here, though. Very interesting. All right, so good to know. Object 277 still trying to work it. We're just trying to get some lights for our guys. We do kind of own the hill. We're in pretty good shape right there. You will notice, once again, on the 1 and 2 column, that there are 4 players who have not done a single thing. There is not a single brain cell going on over there. Nobody has engaged the gray matter. The brain pan is cold. It would need a jump start at this point. There's not any kind of idea of any kind on what they might do to help the team. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing sometimes. So they're just going to watch us lose or win there. Gets interesting later, though, and we'll take a look at that when it happens. Coffee is nice. WZ took a little bit of a hit. We're down 4,000 hit points, at least that I know of. Take Take a shot there. I wish I'd have been paying attention. I might have had a shot on the 105. Ooh, the grill. Okay. That's intel, so I'm just going to take a moment and I'm going to click and tell everyone the grill is there. It takes me a while to type it out because I ham-fisted a bit. So we'll just let everyone know that the grill was back there. He's actually going to reposition. I think he was looking potentially for shots on our guys that were topping over the top there. Plus he could support the 5-6 line. And if things really got bad, he could shoot across to the 1-2 column as well. Meanwhile, the 1-2 column, I don't believe they've actually engaged W or S in any way, shape, or form. Perhaps their turrets have moved, but that's it. That is a Indian Panzer, guys. It's a medium with pretty good view range. There is nobody doing anything over here, right? Check this out. I have done the old free camera so I can do tricky stuff like this. If this Indian Panzer would just come up into this bowl here, or come around behind a little bit and then come into this bowl here, right below us, he would absolutely be an asset to the team. As he's popping over this ridge right here, I'll get better at controlling this thing. He may start getting spots on guys in the back there from this position. This is a great position right here. But nope, he is back there. A little bit boring here, but we're going to have to hold what we've got for the moment. 277 is doing a good job. Obviously, when you do this thing with Artie like we're doing, both sides are going to start getting whittled down, and Artie will have an absolute say in how the 5-6 column goes. Not today. There is no Artie. So the only thing I'm worried about is the hatch. I want to try to keep them from sniping the hatch. Not a lot going on up on the hill. And we're down to 5 minutes. Can you believe it? Absolutely crazy. We're already down to 5 minutes. And I take a hit from the Leopard. Okay, good to know. Leopard changed position. See his last spot? His last spot was right there in front of me. So he's gone up the hill. Nice fast tank. Actually repositions. Imagine that. Imagine the Leopard coming here and going, well, it's a 277. I'll have a hell of a time penning. Yeah, I might be able to snap the hatch, or snipe the hatch of the 100-01. But how about I swing back to the hill and see if I can get shots on these two behemoths from up there with my sniper gun. Good move on his part. Besides, there's a 122, there's a 100-01 over to the, there he is, over to the west. There's plenty of guys there, so he swings back to the hill. The WZ is just outside my draw distance, unfortunately. And why is that not showing up? Don't know why. It's turned itself off somehow. What the heck, man? Why it do this? Why does it do this? Or is this a bug? Let's see. It's on there. Yep, must be a bug. I guess after you come back perhaps from the free cam, it does not reset the circle stuff. Interesting. Well, that's a bummer. Let's see if we do this and bring it back. Nope. All right. So I have decided it's time to change this just a little bit. I'm not doing anything there, and I wish I'd actually done this a little bit earlier. I want to come over here and start looking for spots, and it turns out they've actually moved up just a little bit here. I think the enemy team is starting to think about it. Now, so let's talk about time, because that's really important. We can probably let it keep going. You only had 15 minutes to win this game. There is a point at which everyone's going to start getting a little antsy about whether they can win. The enemy team actually has a huge advantage right now. So they're going to be more inclined, usually, to get more aggressive. We have to start making something happen. We have to start getting rid of hit points. So we'll come up here and we'll see this guy. We'll thump him and I'll back on out. Somebody took a shot at me. Here comes the FV-4202. I really would like to kill the 4005. And it looks like my reload circle stuff. So, oh no, okay, it's goobered up in regular mode. Scorpion G, all right, so I know he's up on that hill somewhere. 4002 takes a big hit, takes another one. We're just going to keep pressing because we've got to make something happen here. Scorpion bounces again, very good. I didn't actually kill him, that kind of crushed my heart right there. 452, somebody else got the last few hit points off the guy. All right, so we've done a little bit to even up. We only have 3 minutes. Just for giggles, let's see what they're doing. Oh! fellas, can we just take a quick break here? And I'm going to ask you to not be Pie Cat of Wisdom, Batter 54, maybe me Tarzan not so much, and FS Drummer Boy. Now, no necessarily personal offense to these four, but we're at 2 minutes and 58 seconds. 2 minutes and 58 seconds. We've made a bit of a comeback. It's more or less an even game. If we're going to win this thing, we really have to start getting on her, right? You're going to have to take a slight chance with your pixels. All right? You're going to have to take a small risk with your pixels. I assume you're playing so you can make credits and experience and get crew experience. And the way you do that, the best way you do that is you shoot the gun. Ideally at something that's lit that you can see. I think you understand where I'm coming from, guys. I mean, somebody over here needs to do something. Let me just say that. Also, too, and in addition to, take a look at the east side of the map. We actually came off the hill. Things are starting to look a little better. The Sturv takes down the WZ. And I'm thinking, well, we don't have a lot of time, but I think pretty soon we're going to start getting lights from that other side. As they push up to the tracks, things might be looking really nice. So I'm going to continue to press in here and see if I can't get some lights. Where's the 100? Where's the 122? And then I eat a big hit from the Scorpion. That's a bummer. We'll just shoot one towards him in the general direction. Crap. Now I'm kind of out of votes, right? I'm out of votes. There's a lot of tanks left that can one-shot me, so I've just got to try to be the guy that can pop up and get a shot when I know I'm not going to get killed. I'm checking where I got hit, right into the turret face. And the problem with this position, and also when the tortoise shows up, is the same problem as the 5.6. The first thing that comes over is that hatch. If I have any kind of turret movement like I'm doing now, I'm giving flat plate to guys out here. And I know that Scorpion is pretty high on the hill, up on the side. So he's already looked down. He's going to see me pretty long before I can see someone on his team to shoot. But I have to press, right? There's 2 minutes. If we're going to win this thing, I have to take some chances. So the tortoise goes in. Finally, the T-56 actually moves. I get lit. That's unfortunate. So I've got to back down a bit. I really wish the 110E4 had pushed in. That would have been super helpful. And then he moves by. And I'm thinking, all right, we can do this. Sneak up here and get a shot on him. Maybe I can survive any return shots. There we go. Back out. Miss, 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 miss. All right. Now, we're starting to get, and more than likely some guys got lit right here. We're starting to contract on them. So you can sense that other people are being lit than just me. So I can start to maybe press just a little bit with the idea that there is some defense in numbers. The 277 is really the thorn in our side. If we can break him down, we can really start constricting on these guys. It's only 1:26. Now I want you to take a look at what's going on right now. This is the time part. I've already discussed it a little bit on how much you have. And when you need to start looking at the timer and go, well, I need to start pressing, and whether or not you really can or can't. I think we had some people who really could have. I was trying my best to do so at the time. I want you to, though, take a look at where we are. We're up pretty good on hit points. The number of tanks is pretty close. And you might look at that and go, well, it's just going to be a draw. You know, there's really nothing you can do. But just watch how fast it goes when people start to get freaking active and attempting to light and getting in and taking a couple risks. I get lit, boom. Skoda's kind of pushing. The other four Muppets haven't done a thing. Okay, beautiful. Leopard PTA. Their 277 died. Opened up the 5.6 column. Leopard snuck through. He's got great vision, and all of a sudden dudes are getting lit. And this is now when you have so many guys moving and pushing that there's not a whole lot the enemy team can do, and you're going to start taking people down. Now I get spotted doing that. Plus the CS went dark, so I kind of back up. And now I'm thinking, well, 50, under a minute, right? Under a minute. Look how many of them that are still alive. Scorpion's lit. That's the guy that was keeping me down. So I go, got it. Scorpion was keeping me down. Now I have much more opportunity to poke up and get shots. So we're going to come up here and we're looking. I know I don't want to top, though, because we're talking about an FV and a Grill A. Not too worried about the other guys. Two of them are down here in the pit anyway. The Indian is finally moving up. Finally. 35 seconds. Again, time. You might think, no way. Just watch how close this gets in 30 seconds. when people finally get active. Now, I want you to watch this shot because it actually is one of the... I'm going to say that shot was one of 2 shots that lost the game. It goes back to the beginning where people went, what they did, people sitting on their ass, not doing a thing, all that kind of stuff. But when you come down to the end game, when important stuff needs to happen, that crushed our life. It should have killed that guy. Just watch what happens, though. So he's alive. Trying to make a move. He gets hit. I'm thinking he's probably going to get killed by somebody. Let me kill him because he's really down here where people can't get to him. So I kill him off. 13, 12 seconds. Holy cow, look at that. With 30 seconds ago, there was 5 or 6 of them. Now there's 2, and they're nearly dead. The grill A is lit. So I come in here, and I'm like, all right, they'll kill the CS, and I'll take a shot at the grill. 6 seconds. Oh, this is going to be perfect. Absolutely perfect. All right, he's taking a hit. You got to love it. LAS is dead. 1 second. I'm loaded. Dead. Well, there you go. RNG taketh, giveth, and taketh away. A lot of stuff could have gone a lot better with this team. I mean, we are up 8,000 hit points at the end. The 4 guys in the 1-2 line not being active or attempting to help, they absolutely crushed, especially our mid-game to mid-late game when we could have started lighting these guys. Nice job over on the east by the guys finally breaking down the hill. Oh, man. Initial position, reasons and why. Reposition, reasons and why. Paying attention to what's going on in the match. Trying to take your tank where you can do some help. Reposition back over to this side again. Attempting to break down this side. Noticing that the team is coming through across the tracks, being ready for that. And then the end game timing. How much time you have, how much time it takes. It actually takes less than you think. You can really collapse teams quickly when you get them stuck in a corner and you can get some lights on the guys and you have a lot of guns. They will absolutely melt. That's why hiding in corners and allowing the other team to have so much map position is so bad for your win rate and for your team. From the other team's standpoint, if you're the guy that constantly is in the corner trying to hide, that's why it's so bad. It's just all the crossfire. It works maybe a little bit better on some of the channelized maps, but these wide open ones like this, I mean, they came within, pixels of losing this game based on 2 shots for me, and who knows how many from other guys. There could be another 2 or 3 guys that shot at them and missed as well. I don't have all their replays, so we're just obviously being more specific to my replay, so it's not a case of me saying necessarily that RNG screwed the team because I was the guy that missed. There was probably several other opportunities around there, but when you take the whole thing together, it was an entirely winnable match. Entirely winnable. So there you go. We talked about a lot of very basic things. Oh, the last thing, one of the earliest things, but the last thing we'll mention. Guys, when you're a scout, think about what you're doing and why you're doing it. Right? Oh, it's proc, your ridge run. Okay, that might be a good idea. Maybe. But what's the situation? What are you getting out of it? What's it doing other than maybe bleeding hit points from you? Right? Man, if that guy would have gone down the 1-2 line, this could have been a very, very different game. All right, that's all I've got. Or imagine that he was alive at the end of the game where he could have done that late game. There you go. That's all I've got. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We will see ya. I'm going to have to go work on my free camera skills there.